Thank you. Thank you. I am grateful to you. There's just gratitude, 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 gratitude. One very powerful way in spirituality and in self-discovery, in truth, is receptivity, openness, and gratitude. Even if there is no idea what that even means or what to be grateful for and to who, it's very powerful. Some kind of imbalance with the external, so-called external world. Let's say, for example, you have hard time to believe God or to somehow accept that there is God because there is so much imbalance in the world, so much suffering. Maybe you have suffering. That if there was a God, if there was God, Almighty God, how could a God allow bad things to happen? Child abuse, wars, whatever. But actually, this kind of idea that is strongly believed in or somehow allowed to be true for oneself is an indication of imbalance, internal imbalance. Actually, what you are projecting to external world, that how could God allow things like that happen? Actually, you are allowing that to happen within you, internally. It's actually an unhealthy and insane view about the external world. And I'm not saying that some kind of acceptance of the outside world, like I accept that there are wars and everything, that would be the answer to somehow match this imbalanced idea with an idea, opposite idea. No, actually both of those ideas cause imbalance. So it's very healthy thing to recognize that there's something imbalance within this capacity, in the thoughts, in the emotions, in the subconscious. There's some kind of imbalance there, and you are actually allowing that yourself. You are the God. You are God of the whole experiential existence that you are experiencing. You have the power with your thoughts and emotions to make it to be whatever it is. And the natural, intuitive idea, of course, is that you see objectively everything, and you are within yourself, you are a good person, and you can see objectively when people are suffering or something, and you can evaluate the world with clear eyes. That this shouldn't be like that, or that shouldn't be like that. But actually, if you really pay attention, because everything is a mirror of yourself, if you really want to heal the external world, the thing is to go within and to investigate what kind of lack belief, what kind of false belief you have, which causes you to see the world in the way you see. To recognize that it is an internal imbalance. And the intuitive reaction would be to do something about it. To fix that, if that's recognized within. But actually, the recognition is the key. To see, to really be honest and to see that it's an internal thing. Somehow the energy is within. Because when your capacity functions in a harmonious, in a way that this capacity is meant to function, it is then like an instrument. It's an instrument that has the full capacity all the time to respond whatever takes place within the perception of this capacity. And there are no biases or projections that distort this thing. And one powerful way, because you have to at one point to really, if you say you don't believe in God, or that you hate God, or that you love God, or whatever, there a wise one would somehow feel and see what God is. Can it be separate in any way? Can it be separate from this capacity? Like the subjectivity of this capacity can that subjectivity be separate from God? Can anything be separate? Osho said godliness is a better word than a noun, God. But if God contains everything, absolutely everything, and everything that moves or does or something like that says, or that there is no distance, nothing happens without God's power. If that is absorbed to the capacity, what is then left? What is then left for this capacity to have some will of its own or some kind of action of its own? So when we go to the person, to really merge with God, with which of course is a crazy thing to say, because that also happens within the God power. But to merge with God, become one with everything, which is actually what everybody is longing for. The peace and happiness that comes from everything being absolutely harmonious. It is achieved very well if you are receptive. Because we have been used to being active and do things and reach out for there and say our own thing and our own projections and what we think and what, but actually you don't know anything what this is, what anything is, and everything is God. So it's very wise to be as receptive as possible. And I know, because I also have this person capacity that things annoy and some things trigger and I can't understand some things, I can't accept some things. But one of the best practices is to somehow, if there's some power in that moment, to make the choice to really humble yourself with all your projections and be receptive. Even if you would feel like so much frustration that you would like to say to this guy that no, it's not like that, it's not like that, and he keeps saying something that annoys you or something, to humble yourself. I'm not saying that to repress, and there is also time to say something and be active, but it's very rare and very good practice to humble yourself and actually not swallow your anger or something like that, but let that be openly there, but be receptive. What is actually being said? What's the message of love? What's the message of God in that interaction? Somehow let it go to the heart. And it may feel very hard because the mind wants to keep it there and wants to say that I'm right and I know this and I know that. But if you really want to become free and know the truth, be the truth, learn to be receptive. Learn to see everything as God. Learn to see the world as if you have no rights, not even right to be you. And see the power of that. See the power of being grateful even when you feel that there is nothing to be grateful for. Just be grateful, say thank you, and the whole environment, the whole capacity switches by and by, being open to the whatever this moment or whatever it brings. To be silent, receptive, grateful. And that's very healthy for the whole consciousness that you have. That's very helpful for the whole capacity and extremely helpful for the whole world. Because when you are free from your own projections, that how things should be, that you are the one manipulating and directing everything and wanting and putting your own expectations, burdening others with them. If you are free from that kind of energy, that actually has so much power to radiate around you. Those kind of qualities that actually have the real power and ability to change the world. But that's not the goal. There is no goal, but if you want to put it like that, the goal is when you are receptive, when you are open, when you are grateful, it takes you to the whole holistic perception, that you see the whole thing, this whole capacity that's here, and the whole perception is there. And there's just gratitude, and not even after a while, there is no grace that happens every now and then that brings something, but you start to see that there is nothing else but grace. There's nothing else than God, in any kind of form it takes. And actually you start to see that all those things that cause this kind of internal irritation or frustration or anger and stuff like that, they are actually helpful, because they come for the person, the one that is attached and has projections. And it's like an antibus that forces you somehow to see, because you become desperate with your projections, your own mind. It forces you to heighten up your perspective and to see things more impersonally, less personally. And then your whole name, your whole existence becomes just an automatic thank you, an automatic gratitude. So thank you. You are God. You are my God.